Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad, and we're going to take a look at your upcoming week, including a sneak preview of your Easter weekend. Overall, it's going to be a relatively benign week. I don't really see a lot of really severe weather across most of the U.S. until next weekend, where we could be seeing a bullseye in the central U.S. But we'll talk about that when we get through this first week coming up. Now, first, though, on Monday, it's going to be not too bad right here in the Ohio Valley. You see a lot of cold there. Remember, yellow is normal high temperatures for us right here in the Ohio Valley, in a low to mid 60s for the afternoon highs. Very nice and warm across the south, Tennessee Valley southward, but further north, much below normal. Now, those cold temperatures will be filtering its way towards the south as well as southeast. So right now we're going to jump right to Wednesday, and notice where that air goes. It goes more up into New England, but it also sits around the Midwest on Tuesday. I think Tuesday is going to be the coldest day or a coolest day across the Midwest itself. But notice here, though, a nice warm up off towards the west. That's in response to the next system. And look what happens here on Friday. It really works its way towards the east. By Friday, I think we're looking at temperatures well into the 70s, possibly even 80s right here in the Ohio Valley. Remember, this is Good Friday, so not a bad day temperature-wise in this portion of the country. But notice the change there. Warm here, cold there. Anytime you get this type of contrast, there could be some severe weather brewing, and I think, again, that area is going to be more in this area, more so than any place else. But there is going to be that system pushing its way towards the east. Jumping right to Easter, you notice what happens. That warm air gets pushed a little bit towards the south, but nothing really all that cold. So we're going to see temperatures pretty close to normal, I think, on Easter right here in the Ohio Valley, if not even a little bit above. We could be certainly looking at 60s, maybe even in the 70s. But at frontal system, you kind of see the difference between the temperatures here and the warmer air down towards the south, and that's where we'll also see a little bit of a way of precipitation. Precipitation on Monday. Well, there's that cold front coming through on Monday. Look at that snow up towards the north. But again, notice not much activity going on across the country. On Tuesday, it pushes its way towards the east. Again, I told you that's going to be cold and relatively unsettled weather for portions of Ohio in places towards the east and northeast. It's not going to be a nice day for you. In fact, it will be snow in the air across the Great Lakes. But again, notice how quiet it is for the most part on your Tuesday. By Wednesday, a little blurb there shows up in the central U.S. That's in response to some warmer air, again, working its way towards the east, again, the northeast. Not so nice. By Thursday, this is the warm front. You kind of see here, you got this area pushing up towards the east as well as northeast, and then you have the cold front and the unsettled weather across the northern Rockies. This is the introduction to that warmer air. That's on Thursday. By Friday, you see that warm front pushing its way in. So we'll see some showers here in the Ohio Valley with that warm front here on Friday, but it's going to be very warm, very breezy too. You see those white lines kind of compressed together. That's going to produce some rather strong winds as well. Now by Saturday, the whole system, the cold front, gets a little bit more intense there in the central and southern plain states, but right here in the Ohio Valley, we'll see some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms along with it. Don't see any severe weather at this point, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. But it's going to be pushing its way towards the east. But it weakens a little bit right here, but very wet and gusty as you head up towards the northeast. Now remember, this is on Good Friday. By Saturday, and you see it pushing its way towards the south. This is even working its way on into Easter Sunday, so the front slips down south of the Ohio Valley. I think those of us in the Ohio Valley points north will see a really nice Easter. Temperatures pretty close to normal. That would be in the 60s, if not even lower 70s. But this is the area of concentration where some severe weather could be brewing, and this is, again, on Saturday as well as Sunday there in the central U.S., and then that will push its way towards the east. So the bottom line is the coldest day is going to be Tuesday. The warmest day will be Friday, and Easter really doesn't look all that bad for us right here in the Midwest. I'm George, the Weather Dad, and I'll be back in a few days to give you a little bit better look of our upcoming Easter weekend. Until then, again, I'm George, the Weather Dad.